Hi friends, your pal Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to give you a PAX Unplugged 2025 field report, and this is directly from the vendor hall, and I wanted to talk about Two Studio Publishing. So I've seen these guys for a few years now. Probably I've been seeing their stand probably for like 5 years, I'm pretty sure, and they really are. They do a spectacular job, and they do a very important job of and they do an excellent job of they do something really important for the tabletop role-playing game space and for Dungeons and Dragons. So what do they do? All right, so first of all, they were near the back of the hall in this year's vendor hall, but they had a lot of space, and their space was extremely well executed. So what was it? So first of all, what is a good vendor space, right? So one, at PAX, you're seeing the best in the world, right? Like you are seeing, so basically, if you go there, you can get a 10 by 10 foot slot, right? Literally, four, squares on a D&D board, and you can plop down your table and you can plop up your banner behind you, and then you put your stuff on your table. That's the simplest you can do, right? And Two Studio Publishing, oh, by the way, these guys, they actually, I don't know if they publish anything. That's a good question. Like, they carry OSR and Indy books, right? And I think, and they must do some publishing as well. I'm thinking, right? But these guys are the number one purveyors in the American convention space to buy every single OSR and Indy tabletop role-playing game that matters in print that is not Dungeons and Dragons. So basically, you will not find any Dungeons and Dragons books in their stall, right? But you will find every OSR and Indy that is quality, or that matters, or that has some hype, right? Or that is unique. Like, and it is an amazing collection, okay? All right, but they didn't just have a 10 by 10 foot stand. They had like 6 of those 10 by 10s together, and then they made a really nice place in the center, right, where you could go in and walk around. And that center walk around was on a padded area, right? Like literally, like, oh, your feet are hurting because you've been walking around the convention and walk around the vendor hall for hours, and we're just gonna at least pad your feet. And it's those small, and it seems like a small thing, like, oh, their floor was padded. It's not a small thing, right? Like, and also it takes money to do this, and I'm pretty shocked. And the reason why is, when you want to talk about money, OSR and Indy make absolute dirt. There is no money in tabletop role-playing games, especially beyond Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons does make bank, but even then, it's only the top of the TTRPG space. Like, D&D doesn't even make marginal money, like from a video game perspective, right? D&D is not a huge profit engine. It is a surviving business that is, without a doubt, the number one in the TTRPG space, right? It is the 800-pound gorilla in the TTRPG space. So, but these guys had and they had a really nice big space. It was extremely well lit. And actually, that just goes to the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. The Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo just bathes all these stalls in light, and it's not a small thing. It's like a really big deal. Like, so it was extremely well lit. It had nice padded flooring, and then it just had shelves and shelves and shelves, double-sided. So the shelves were double-sided so that you could see that you had people looking at books on their shelves from both sides. And that's because their stalls, their stall collection, their vendor space was extremely well executed, right? And none of this is easy. You have to put this in, like, it would take, you can't pack this into the back of a Honda CRV, right? You actually have to have a box truck or even a semi tractor trailer, right, to do this. And so these guys are at scale. They're actually doing something difficult, right? And I was very impressed with this. And they had just like, so I'll just give you like an example of one book, why I was blown away with these guys. So one book that they had, right, was yeah, let's dig into it. What was it? So it was like Home, Mecha and Kaiju map making game. Now, actually, I spent very little money at PAX, and the reason why is, I almost always spend no money, virtually no money at PAX, and the reason why is it's Christmas time is coming up, and we need to save money for Christmas, but PAX will generate spending for me all year long, right? So this book, so Home, Mecha and Kaiju map making game was a pamphlet. It was just a tiny little pamphlet. I think it was maybe 20, it's probably 32 pages long, right? Just a little pamphlet, right? $20. Now that pamphlet was on very nice high grade paper, and it was visually stunning. It was extremely good layout, extremely good art. I haven't read it yet, so I can't speak to the writing yet, but I want this thing so bad. And this kind of thing printed, like, basically without two studio publishing, this thing would just be another plopped out like PDF on itch.io, right? On itch.io, right? By the way, I have stuff on itch.io, right? But the reality is, like, publishing a PDF is easy. Getting your stuff to print is very, very hard. And two studio publishing no one does a better job of getting you what you need if you want something beyond Dungeons and Dragons. I was blown away, but with their vendor space, blown away with the quality of their books. Every book they had, there was no dings, no dents. Like, they take very good care of their merchandise. These guys were on point and just did a phenomenal job of representing OSR and Indy games. My hat off to two studio publishing, and I want to send you their way. Go check them out. If you need a book that is off the grid, that is unusual, that comes from an international publisher, there's no better source to get it from than these guys. And that is completely, that is a non-paid advertisement. They didn't pay. I didn't even talk to them, right? Actually, I did talk to them. One of them actually explained this, like, Little's game that comes from an Italian company that has been converted to English. But at no point did they give me any product or pay me. They're just an amazing company, and I was extremely impressed with their space. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.